Well, the first time you visit a museum, it can be a big, imposing place. It can be very daunting because there's so much to see and there are so many people around. It's full of visitors. It's hard to know where to go. And you can get a certain amount from labels, but if you really look at the object and if you have someone who can help and guide you read the object, you can get so much more out of them.
The best thing I do for the outreach department is the tours for school groups, normally aged between about 10 and 18, and it's about opening up the ancient world to them, opening up museums to them. Sometimes we get students who've never even been to a museum before, so showing them what a museum can be like, and that it's not this strange, remote, inaccessible, dusty place full of cobwebs, but actually it's quite lively, there are things they want to see. And it's about also showing them they don't need much knowledge in classics, they just need to be able to have an exciting understanding of what possibilities there are.
Well, one thing we might look at is this tombstone of a doctor called Agathemeris, and this is his wife Metale. There is a Greek inscription underneath which gives us their names, and it also tells us that they spoke Greek and they identified as Greek. In the Roman Empire, you can be Greek and you can be Roman. You can have several identities as a member of the Roman Empire. But if we look at the objects, at the tombstones, at the household objects, all different things from the ancient world, we can find out about those people who aren't really spoken about in the literature. So that's children, that's slaves, that's freed people. And it's mainly through the material culture, through tombstones like this, or through lots of different objects that we find out about the real people in the ancient world.
I always like taking school groups to see this statue because it's a good example of an object where you can get so much information without knowing anything about Greek sculpture, about development of art, or even about Greek history. The first sort of questions I fire at people are, this is a statue of an athletic young man. Why do you think he's not wearing any clothes? Do you think this is a realistic statue of how people actually dressed? Or do you think it's trying to say something? We could look at little elements like the eyes, the fact that there's actually holes where there should be eyes here. Even though obvious things like the arms are missing, we can learn a lot of information about the statue from the fact that there are little struts. Why do you think there are struts here? What's the limitations about working in marble? Do you think they were maybe trying to do something with a pose that the stone wouldn't really, through gravity, allow you to do normally? And how do you think the statue would have looked with big, ugly struts interfering with the naturalism of the statue? So it's all about living history. These aren't just empty, dead statues in a museum. They all have things to tell.
We offer tours and gallery talks where school groups or older learners can come and take a really very close look at the object. We can discover all sorts of things about the people in the ancient world who you wouldn't normally read about in the speeches of Cicero or in the Homeric epics. I'm really passionate about this because I think the only way you can really understand an ancient culture is to interact with its objects. And that's not just through pictures in a book, but that's getting up close and seeing the hands that made these objects in the museum.